It's getting crazy out here, Falcons fans. Welcome into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. My name is Moose. Coming to you live on your Wednesday, 4:15 Eastern Time, 3:15 Central Time here in Dallas, Texas. Bringing you the very best surrounding the Dirty Birds on YouTube. We got an absolutely loaded show for you today. And I'm not going to lie to you, not so much news to talk about as much as there is rumors to talk about, because ESPN, Dianna, Russini, all of these NFL media reporters are coming out talking about the trade deadline that's coming up here in less than 2 weeks now. And a couple of Falcons players have been listed as trade candidates. We'll talk about all that, plus maybe some familiar faces coming back to Atlanta. Now, before we do that, I got to start off with the question. Every single week we start off with the question, name a trade the Atlanta Falcons should make. This could be giving away a player. This could be bringing in a player. You pick a player. You pick a trade. You let me know in the comment section down below. If I like it, I'll give you a shout out. What's up, Lav? Good to see you, buddy. Jacoby coming in from Lav. Jacoby Myers. Hell yeah, dude. I would love Jacoby on this team. Ooh, message here. Hold on. Patrick says, bring in Tyreek Hill. Have you seen Tyreek Hill's leg recently? Avery.
What's going on, the creator? Daniel Hilton, need Grady back. Denard Norwood says Waddle.
You ain't getting Grady Jarrett back, at least this year.
410 Big Dog says Jamison Williams. They ain't trading him, brother.
Look, Bright Wolf, I was on the train of I don't think we should have started Mooney. I really don't. I thought we should have just let him get right. We're trying way too hard to bring this guy back and have him play. And truthfully, you kind of need him to, right? Because you got rid of Ray now. Your only wide receiver option that's worth a damn is Drake London. Casey Washington, I know the coaches love him. He's really not a wide receiver 3 even at this point in his career. He's got time to develop into that, but he's not there yet. The Falcons need a wide receiver. Like today. They need one like right now. I've been saying Tyler Lockett. Did you see the video that I put out yesterday? You could elevate Nick Nash. Yeah, totally could. I'm going to keep an eye on my phone because something tells me, guys, I'm telling you right now, something tells me that in the next, I don't want to say it's going to happen today, but like sometime in the next week, I bet you there's a trade. Bring back Calvin Ridley, 6'7", 6'7".
What?
I don't know, man. No, Judy's not going to happen. I promise you, Cleveland's not going to get rid of Jerry Jeudy. Guaranteed they won't. I know you guys want to elevate all of your players on your practice squad, but they're on the practice squad for a reason. I'm going to be completely honest with you. That's like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. You need a legitimate number 1 or number 2 and 3 now. And Darnell Mooney is hurt, and while he gets back up to speed, you need somebody else that can catch passes outside of Bijan Robinson. It doesn't look like Jalen Waddle's happening either. You could definitely get Tyler Lockett. I do believe you could get Calvin Ridley back.
Why would you want Tyler Lockett?
He's a legitimate, certified slot wide receiver.
Sucks.
He played for the Titans. They're mega-ass booty cheeks.
Okay.
They're the worst team in the NFL outside of the Jets.
He was the top wide receiver, and he wasn't getting the ball. He couldn't catch the ball.
Everything was going wrong with the Tennessee Titans. They can't block. They've got a rookie quarterback. They fired their coach. No, stop.
I would not take Tyler Lockett in a heartbeat.
Trey Tucker is not on the market. Sorry, Jeff.
You got rid of him.
Denard says we need Waddle. Moose. I would love Jalen Waddle. Believe me, I'm right there with you. I think Jalen Waddle and Drake London would feed families together. I don't think it's going to happen. Here's the ones that could happen. There's 3 that I believe actually could happen. Tyler Lockett, you go and sign him. You trade for Calvin Ridley, or you trade for Jacoby Myers. Those are the only three that I could actually see happening. I would love Garrett Wilson. I don't think they're going to trade him either. They just paid him all that money. There's no way. Myers is probably the most likely to happen. Jacoby Myers is actively being shopped. Ridley might hate Atlanta, but he doesn't have a no-trade clause. So if he gets traded for, he's either playing football for the Falcons or he's not. Yes, he does. It was a big falling out when he left. All right, guys, I've got some news for you. Producer Alper's on the ones and twos today, and he knows this better than anybody. You got 126 people in the building with us, Producer Alper. We've only got 12 likes.
What are y'all doing?
I know.
What are y'all doing?
Somebody said Chris Olave.
Are you guys just like, don't care? You come into the stream, you're saying names. If you're commenting, you should hit that thumbs up icon.
We cannot start the show until we get to at least 50 likes. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And while you guys are hitting that thumbs up icon and helping me out, I'm going to help you out. If we make $150 on today's live stream, 150, I will give away 3 free spots in the Matt Ryan jersey giveaway, plus the people that helped contribute to the Matt Ryan jersey. Or to the 150, I should say. So if you get us to 150, I will give away 3 free entries into the Matt Ryan jersey giveaway. How long is this live going to be? Probably an hour, right around there. DJ Moore, look, I would love DJ. I think DJ's still a hell of a player. I don't know that the Bears are willing to give him up right now, considering they're 4-2. They're on a 4-game win streak.
There we go. Look at that. 60 likes
Bang!
just like that.
We are getting updates here about Michael Penix Jr. He was limited in practice today, but he did speak to the media, or is speaking to the media currently. He's saying that he feels good. Didn't get the job done against San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, that's true. He didn't. But then again, neither did the entire team. And I think you guys are going to like one of my cuts today, one of our segments that we're going to do, because it's time to have a tough conversation about the Atlanta Falcons. I still don't know what this team is. I've gone back and I've watched the tape and I've tried to be as optimistic as I can. And I go back and I'm like, I still cannot figure out what the Atlanta Falcons are in 2025. I can't. It is a completely different team than it was last year. And yet we still have similar problems that we had last year. It's insane. Nobody knows what this team is. Odell Beckham, hell of a player.
He's suspended, by the way.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about what we've got coming up on today's show. Remember, if we get to 150, 3 free spots in the Matt Ryan jersey giveaway, a signed Matty Ice jersey that could look great in your house, in your game room, in your man cave, wherever you want to put it. So like I said, we're going to have a tough conversation about the Falcons. We'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. We're going to talk about the Dianna Russini trade rumors that she's been hearing from personnel members across the league, as well as what ESPN had to say about 2 new, well, one of them is not new, 1 new Atlanta Falcons trade candidate. And if you're looking at the thumbnail of today's video, I think you can figure out who that is. Spoiler alert, it's Arnold Ebikete.
You didn't put Dianna Russini and her
Jugsini
on the
No Jugsini today. No Jugsini. I'd take Hines Ward if this was 2006.
How old is he now? 50?
Probably 44 is my guess. 44, 45.
41.
Julio Jones or Calvin Johnson. Yeah, okay. I love that we're naming old-ass white. You know what? Just go get Randy Moss.
Hines Ward is 49.
Go get Terrell Owens. He's 49? Okay, I said 44, 45, so I wasn't that far off.
He is the wide receivers coach at Arizona State.
Trade for defensive tackle Quentin Williams. I would love Quentin Williams. Love him. I don't think he's up for grabs, though. I really don't. Ocho Cinco. Let's go get Shannon Sharp while we're at it.
Kadarius Toney.
You know. Amped. No way. That dude has no hands. Bro's got T-Rex hands. He's got T-Rex touch. I got a big head and little arms. Nose tackle. Yep, we definitely need one of those. Like I said, we're going to break all this down and what the Falcons need when it comes to their trade stuff, but things are picking up. And from what I'm hearing, are you ready for this, Producer Alper?
I am.
From what I'm hearing and some of the sources that I've talked to, the Falcons, even though Raheem Morris went to the podium and said, oh, we don't really know, we love our team. It's up to Terry and that front office to, go down and make a decision on a trade, and we're just along for the ride. I do know this. One source that I saw and have kind of picked the brain on said that the Falcons are actively pursuing a wide receiver. He wouldn't tell me which one. I didn't get to know it. There wasn't a name attached to it, but they are actively pursuing a wide receiver. And that's also part of the reason why I believe they would have gotten rid of Ray McCloud. Doesn't it make sense? Like, why would you get rid of a receiver if you're already having receiver issues if you weren't going out and planning on getting one? See my point? All right.
Keep hitting that thumbs up icon. We got 150 people in the chat right now. Let's get to 100. Can we get to 100? Quit being weird. Hit that thumbs up icon. Takes 2 seconds, and it's free.
Free 99.
You guys are saying, if you're saying Tyler Lockett, Jesus Christ. You're going to like the segment I'm doing today then, Moose.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. It's a do not sign Tyler Lockett.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think I'm not saying Tyler Lockett is the perfect candidate.
He's 33 years old.
He's not the perfect candidate. He is a certified, reliable slot receiver.
He needs to retire and go into an old man's
He's
home.
cheap. He's dirt cheap.
Exactly, the Bright Wolf. He hasn't done anything in 4 years.
That's a lie. I have a list 4 cat that proves he does. Put it up. Put it up. We got a list 4 cat that shows exactly what Tyler Lockett has done the last 4 years.
No, we don't.
What do you mean we don't?
We do not.
Should be in there.
Nope. Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. Told you.
Scrolled all the way at the bottom.
There it is. Put it up there. What do you mean he hasn't done anything in the last 4 years? 2021, he had 1,000 yards, or 1,100 yards. 2022, he had over 1,000 yards.
Nice. Nice.
This isn't nothing.
I see a decline.
This is better than Ray McCloud.
I'd rather have Ray McCloud. I'd rather have Ray
That
McCloud.
you are out of your mind
I'd
if you
rather
think
have Ray
that's the
McCloud.
okay. Well, see, look at that. Williams says Lockett stays pretty healthy. Well, there you go. I trust Williams, I trust Williams' judgment and his $2 super. Appreciate you, William. We're going to get started here in just a second as soon as we get the super chat up on screen. Michael Pittman Jr. is not getting traded. Hey, how about this? Let's trade for Jamar Chase.
Someone said they should trade a 4th for Cam Scattaboo.
They won't ever get rid of Cam Scattaboo.
No, he is a giant.
Okay, Groovy Tone, I appreciate the support. Lockett is not a god. He's not a god. But what he is a reliable slot wide receiver that would be better immediately than Ray McCloud, and he would be somebody that would allow Darnell Mooney, when he gets healthy, to get back out to that wide receiver position and stretch the field. I would take Tyler Lockett all day and twice on Sunday. Only for a little bit. I'm not even saying sign him to a multi-year deal. Rent him for the year.
I'm taking Ray McCloud.
Amon coming in with the $10 super chat.
We're talking about a guy that covers the Titans and watched every Titans game and saw him on the field. I'd rather have Ray McCloud.
I forgot that you're.
I'd rather have Ray McCloud.
Okay, so are you telling me that Calvin Ridley is no longer a good wide receiver because he's had lower production since playing for the Titans?
He got hurt.
Stop.
He got hurt. He has a bad hamstring.
You're tripping balls today.
The game before he hurt his hamstring, he had 130 yards and like 6 catches.
Producer Alper is tripping balls today. There's no doubt about it. But you know what? That's okay. That's all right. Appreciate you, William, for our super chat. Same with you, Armand. Not Amon, excuse me. Armand Williams. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for the $10 super. He's getting in with those sunglasses emojis. Remember, if we get to 150 today, 3 free spots guaranteed to you. All right, let's do this. Let's start with our, it's time to have a tough conversation about the Atlanta Falcons. Trying to drink my Celsius here in my cup because it has been a sipping on promethazine with lean. I fell in love. Name that artist, chat.
Yeah, chat.
I can't put down the cup. I can't put down the cup. If y'all don't know Dave Blunts, I ain't fucking with you. I ain't fucking with you if you don't know Dave Blunts. Thank you, Groovy Tone.
Alrighty.
Now I'm crying in the kitchen. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, we're going to have a tough conversation about the Dirty Birds. And Falcons fans, I'm warning you right now, it might be a little bit heated. Let's do it. I've listened to you in the comments section, Falcons fans. I've gone back, I've watched the tape, and now it is finally time for Moose to admit to all of you that it is time to have a tough conversation about the Atlanta Falcons. Welcome in, Dirty Birds fans, to Falcons Today by Chat Sports. My name, like I said, is Moose, and like I also told you, today's episode is going to be kind of an enigma, kind of like the Atlanta Falcons in 2025. I still cannot figure this team out for the life of me. What are they? Because there are moments, there are games, there are quarters and halves that I'm like, this is a top 5 team in the NFL. And then there are times when I'm like, blow this entire thing up and start over. They cannot put together any sort of consistency in 2025. They are literally the definition of a bipolar football franchise. How do you go up against the Minnesota Vikings and establish that kind of dominant play and then the very next week get blown out to the Carolina Panthers 30-0? How do you go up on Monday Night Football against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills and make him look scared for his life in the pocket and then go out and fall flat against Mac Jones and the San Francisco 49ers the very next week? How do you go from energy and emotion like Raheem Morris is showing right here to utter disbelief, panic, confusion, and ultimately feeling like Michael Penix Jr. did when he got sacked, strip sacked, actually, by the 49ers? I just don't get it. I don't understand. It's just like there are so many different questions that I have for this coaching staff as to what are we talking about in practice? What are our practice habits like? What is the vibe before the game? And honestly, what do the players think of you? Because it is so peaks and valleys every single game. Clutch Points, one of my very favorite sports blogs to read, was talking a little bit about the Falcons in 2025. Specifically when it came to this loss to the San Francisco 49ers. Hear what they had to say. This was Atlanta's second straight primetime letdown under head coach Raheem Morris. It left the team searching for answers to familiar problems. They saw inconsistent quarterback play, a disappearing run game, and ultimately defensive lapses. With the loss, the Falcons now fall to 3-3 and slipped into third in the NFC South. This was a sobering reality for a team that is built to win now. But here's the thing. This isn't the entire whole story. Because every single time, myself included, I'll be the first one to admit, I was on the hype train. After the Bills game, I'm like, you need to give the Falcons their respect. They can beat the very best teams. But we also saw that they can lose to backups. I just don't get it. How do you have dominant performances against the Minnesota Vikings and against the Buffalo Bills and still fuck up the next week. I don't understand. And as I alluded to earlier in the episode, at times this team looks like a top 5 team. It does. You can't convince me that defense against the Vikings, against the Bills, and their play against the Washington Commanders, that they didn't have performances we were like, oh my Lord, look at this team. Oh my Lanta, what's going on here? This is something special. But also in the same vein, you got games like the Buccaneers where you lose a heartbreaking loss because you miss a field goal. You get shut out on the road to the Carolina Panthers. And then on the road against the San Francisco 49ers, you put up a big fat a big fat goose egg. It was just a blunder of a game. And social media is reacting the very same way that I am. They don't understand. One of my favorite Falcons Twitter sites said this, and I thought this was a very sobering statistic. The Falcons entered Sunday night as the second total offense in the NFL based on yards, but that's empty calories. They are now a bottom 5 scoring offense at 18.3 points per game. That's worse than the Bengals, the Dolphins, who you play this coming Sunday, and the goddamn Jets. What? At some point, you have to ask Raheem Morris what the hell is going on. Because ultimately, with what the players are saying about the talent in their room, with the talent that we see on paper, we have no business being as bad as we are in certain spots. And the more and more that I think about Raheem Morris's inability to coach this team, the more and more he's proving me right. I have wanted to defend Raheem so badly. And then he said this bullshit about the 10 men on the field 10 men on the field situation against the San Francisco 49ers when this iced the game. A defensive tackle was missing from the field on that critical 3rd and 13 that San Francisco converted in the fourth quarter on Sunday, which ultimately iced the game. Raheem Morris said that particular position shouldn't have impacted the play to that degree. With 3rd and 13, that shouldn't matter. You should still get off the grass, he said. If it had been a corner or a deep dropper, I would have called timeout. Or if it had been a 3rd and 1 with a defensive lineman missing, I would have called timeout. Dude, what the hell are you talking about? It is not the play design or the play result. It is the timing of the situation. It is late in the fourth quarter with a chance to go ahead and take the lead, stop this team, force a field goal. It doesn't matter if it's 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 13. Have 11 men on the field. Like, what are we doing? What kind of response is this? It's an inept one. And I understand where he's trying to come from, right? Like he's looking at it from a situational football perspective. But if you take away that, I don't even know what you want to call it, that this situation, and you look at it from a bird's eye view and you say, it's 3rd and whatever, late in the 4th, you have an opportunity to stop the opposing offense to get back in the football game, and you have 10 men on the field. It's inexcusable. Raheem said that. Jeff Ulbrich said that. And I'm not absolving Jeff Ulbrich either. Like, as a defensive coordinator, that is still your defense as well. Be better. I just don't get it. My belief in Raheem Morris is waning every single day. Every single day, it just gets a little bit less and a little bit less and a little bit less. I've got more to say on the whole subject coming up here in just a little bit. But before I do that, I got to tell you about our friends over at Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. You don't want to miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. Prize Picks is the only app, by the way, that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the exact same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. So if you wanted to pick more on Bijan Robinson's rushing yards, passing yards, and total touchdowns, receiving yards and total touchdowns, you can now pick that in the exact same lineup only on Prize Picks. Follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineup in just one click, whether it is a friend, a celebrity partner like producer Alper, or just someone whose picks you absolutely love. Hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the brand new feed tab over on Prize Picks. How do you play? Pick the player. Pick the more or the less on their stat projections, and then just watch your money grow. Up to 2,000 times your money this football season on Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Let's get more newsy about everything when I'm talking about why this is a tough thing to talk about with the Falcons. Morris said that it was very possible that Divine Diablo is going to go on IR. Now, where does this tie into what we're talking about? It's not going to get better right away. It just isn't. It isn't. Because despite the injuries, this team is full of talent, and we continuously see the disappointing losses due to the inept coaching mistakes. 13-10, late in the fourth, 3rd and 13. You have 10 men on the field. Even producer Alper right now is laughing. It's hysterical. And if you don't believe me that this team believes in itself from a player perspective, Jake Matthews, our left tackle, had this to say. We didn't execute. We got all the pieces and the confidence. We have to go out there and get it done like we did last week against the Bills and consistently do that. Then we'll be the team that we know how to be. And it's not just the coaching mistakes in weird windows. It's the red zone offense is just diabolically bad. They are second to last, the penultimate position for passing touchdown percentage in the red zone in 2025. 7%. The only team that's worse, the Giants, and they've got a brand new quarterback. Also, by the way, they have the worst red zone scoring percentage in the NFL on the road. 28.5%. How can you be second in yards going into that game against the 49ers and now be a bottom 5 team in points per game? It just doesn't make sense, other than the fact that your play calling is predictable, your quarterback is not progressing, and you're just making boneheaded decisions. Moose, what was it like last year? There you go. This is total red zone percentage efficiency, by the way. Like, as a whole. 2025, it is 44.4% of the time that you're scoring when you're in the red zone. In 2024, with Kirk Cousins, it was 54.7%. Those numbers are actually deceiving as well because Kirk got injured. And then he started on that interception brigade. Final translation. I don't know how long I can defend Raheem Morris. I really don't. Because at some point, with the talent that you've got on this team, an MVP candidate running back in Bijan Robinson, you've got Drake London, you've made the right decisions and the right personnel calls on your defense, you've drafted well, Xavier Watts, Billy Bowman, not Arnold Ebikete, Jalen Walker, James Pierce Jr., everybody looks like a hit. And yet we're still 3-3, dealing with the same bullshit that we dealt with last year. I don't get it. So my confidence level in Raheem right now is like a 3. Because my guess is that we go up against the Miami Dolphins this Sunday, and you win convincingly. Great. Then what about the next week? Because you got the Patriots after that. And that's a really good team. That's all I got for you on this episode. A reminder, hit that subscribe button. Like today's video. I apologize if it's not the good news you wanted to hear, but this is what I'm seeing. I'm calling it like I see it. As always, Falcons fans, rise up and be cool. What do you guys think?
-10, -12, -1.
Do you guys like that? Do you guys agree with me? Do you disagree with me? If so, why? Why not?
Seems like they're agreeing with you. Cy Anderson says the jury's still out on Michael Penix. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
No, Cy, that's a very good point. Look, I'm still on the Michael Penix Jr. I believe in him. I believe in his ability to get better. It's clear that I'm not like, okay, that's the guy. That's the dude for the remainder of the next 3 years. He still has a lot to prove. Absolutely.
Get the Bama coach.
Who's the offensive coordinator for the University of Washington? Ryan Grubb. Penix's offensive coordinator the year he went to the Natty. Get that guy. Go get that guy. Promote Jeff Ulbrich to interim head coach. Go get Ryan Grubb.
So you're already saying fire Raheem Morris.
I don't know how long I can continue to defend this inconsistency. Because at the end of the year, Falcons fans know this better than anybody. You're going to look up and you're going to be 8-9. You're going to miss out on the playoffs and go, what the hell happened? It's the truth. Razez, it's not a bad idea. If he's good to go, play him. If he's good to go, play him. If he's even 60% or 70%, sit him. Because you can beat the Dolphins with Kirk Cousins. You absolutely can. They suck. And that's the difference between the Dolphins and the Falcons. At least the Dolphins know that they suck.
The Dolphins 100% know.
They're awful. They're about to strip everything down and rebuild. At least there's a vision there. The Falcons feel like they play situational football every single week. They don't know what they're going to do every single week, week in to week out. They just don't know.
You never know.
Never know, never know, never know, never know. All right, do you guys want to talk a little bit more positively? Let's get into some trade rumors because I still do believe the Falcons can buy at the trade deadline. At 3-3, you can absolutely make a move to get better. You can. I feel like that's gotten better. I feel like the play calling at times has gotten better, but in the biggest moments, it's still not good.
Let them know Falcons Productions.
What did he say? I don't want Bill Belichick. I really don't. I think Bill's done.
He's washed.
I think he's done.
He's washed.
He cares more about spending time with his 26-year-old girlfriend.
25.
Exactly. That's my point. 25. If I had to get a new head coach right now,
who are you going for? I'm going for Mike McCarthy.
no.
I'm going for Mike McCarthy.
No.
Cliff Kingsbury?
No. His offense is too Pop Warner-y. It's too college-y. I don't love it. Let me think about this for a sec. We'll start here in just a little bit.
Bring back Arthur Smith.
No, God, no. Fuck that. No way. No way. I wouldn't be... God, there's like no great coaching candidates this year. There's just not. Like, Brian Flores would be really good. Yeah. I would love Brian Flores.
But if I'm
Shout
the
out
Falcons,
to you, Tez.
If I'm the Falcons,
think about what you could do with that defense with all of these new guys with Brian Flores' scheme. It would be insane.
But you already have a great defense. You need someone that's going to unlock Michael Penix. So you need an offensive-minded coach because the defense is already thriving.
I disagree.
The defense is already thriving. You need an offensive-minded head coach.
I think you need a defensive coach that will continue to get this defense as good as possible and a really good offensive coordinator.
But who are you going to get as a really good offensive coordinator?
Mike McDaniel. Brian Flores is my head coach. Mike McDaniel is my OC. Lock that shit in.
That works.
See, Tez says that's a banger. Boom.
That works.
But
if you can't get Mike McDaniel, you're screwed.
Well, true.
Jay Gruden, is he?
That's my dream scenario. Brian Flores is the head coach, master motivator, defensive guru, offensive boy genius that probably should never be a head coach again in Mike McDaniel.
Yep. All righty.
All right, let's do this. We'll talk Dianna Russini trade rumors now because she listed a bunch of teams that are looking to buy and sell. Let's do it. Good old Dianna Russini dropping some trade buzz right before the NFL trade deadline, which at the time of this recording is less than 2 weeks away. Falcons fans, welcome into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. My name is Moose. And in today's episode, we're going to break down Dianna Russini's article, not in its full entirety. That's why I'm giving you this quick little list here, because in the article, she talked about the insider trade buzz from all of the different coaches, GMs, scouts, etc., NFL personnel members. She talked about the trade buzz that she's hearing, head coaching hot seats, and then, of course, she got anonymous quotes from around the league. And first of all, let me just say this. I don't like anonymous quotes. I think you should have the balls to put your name to something. I get why they have anonymity, right? You never ever want to put your job in jeopardy. But at that point, if you're not willing to attach your name to it, you probably shouldn't be saying it anyway. So let's just get into what one anonymous NFL source, one anonymous NFL executive said about the upcoming 2025 trade deadline. It is easy to lie to yourself when there isn't a clear understanding of who is good and who is bad in the league. Falcons. Decision makers have to be as honest as possible. Can we really win with the Super Bowl this year? Or win the Super Bowl this year? If not, let's get ahead here and move some players. It's not an easy conversation. Even though it's been pushed back, the trade deadline is still too early. Now, we're going to break down all of the teams that Dianna Russini listed as making ripples throughout the NFL right now and making phone calls. But before we do that, I have to ask you really quickly, if you haven't already subscribed, hit that sub button. We are very close to 44,000 subs here on the channel. Only 624 away. If you want fresh, engaging, thoughtful, insightful Falcons content, hit that sub button right now. First of all, I think the Falcons should buy. And I know that I have gone out in the past in recent episodes and said the Falcons have no idea what they are. But I do believe there is enough talent on this roster to get more wins, stack more wins, and be a playoff contender. We've seen them beat the very best, so we know that they can do it. They just have to do it consistently. So who are these teams, by the way, that are making calls? Not all of these teams are buyers. Not all of these teams are sellers. So right now, this is what the landscape looks like. The Bengals, Dolphins, Titans, Jets, Eagles, Colts, Chiefs, Chargers, and Cowboys are all teams that have been listed as making phone calls. You might notice that the Falcons are not listed here. This was way before the Falcons released Ray McCloud. And now you are hearing from around Falcons media members that the Falcons are interested in trading for a wide receiver. That's not me saying that. That's the things that I'm reading from all the different Falcons beat reporters. So Dianna Russini also said there are other teams that are willing to make calls, that are making calls, but they didn't want to attach their names to anything. So, Terry Fontenot, get on the phone. Make a phone call. Call up to get a wide receiver. Get a nose tackle. Get somebody, because the last thing you want to do is have the trade deadline go by and roll with the exact same roster that you're rolling with and still have the exact same inconsistencies. There are glaring needs. What are those needs? Number one, number two. And if you tackled one of these issues and not the other, I'd be okay with it. If you got a nose tackle, I'd be okay with not having a wide receiver because you could go out and sign somebody. You could elevate somebody from the practice squad. I do believe, though, that in order to be a very good defense and so to solidify that defensive line, you need a surefire nose tackle like a guy like Shelby Harris. There is one team, by the way, that's getting ready to clean the whole thing, wipe it up, start over from scratch. The Tennessee Titans. This is from Dianna Russini, by the way. This is an exact quote from her article. The Titans are open for business on every single player except for Cam Ward and Jeffrey Simmons. I would have loved to have Jeffrey Simmons, but he's off the table. But that leaves a couple of options that we still can talk about. Everybody's favorite wide receiver here in Atlanta, Calvin Ridley. Whoa, Moose, didn't things get a little dicey between the Dirty Birds and Calvin Ridley? Yeah, they did. There might be a little bit of animosity there, but I do believe he helps out this football team in a big way. And the statistics in 2025, they might not prove that. But remember, the Tennessee Titans are the ass crack of the NFL. They stink. Big mega booty cheeks. So obviously, when you're playing like crap, your numbers are going to look like crap. But that's not a Calvin Ridley fault. That's a offensive line, Brian Callahan, Titans front office, you name the problem. It's not Calvin Ridley. And if I'm looking at the Falcons wide receiver depth chart, there's a glaring hole for another big-time wide receiver. Because right now, Kadarrell Hodge is listed as your wide receiver 3. So Darnell Mooney being that wide receiver 2 who's still very injured. He needs time to get better. You're looking at a big-time problem. You need another weapon. Now, if you don't want to go out and spend a fortune to go get Calvin Ridley and have to pay him that massive contract that he's currently under, 4 years, $92 million, you could always get his less expensive counterpart who's not as good but still a reliable option. Tyler Lockett, released by the Tennessee Titans. Hell, Ray McCloud just signed with the Giants. I don't know if you've been keeping up with that, but he was immediately like, I want to get on another team. Tyler Lockett should be a very, very doable option and a reliable slot wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. So if you didn't want to go balls to the wall with Calvin Ridley, you could go with a guy like T-Lock, who, granted, is coming off of probably his worst start to a season maybe ever. But again, it's the Titans. So I'm going to ask you this question before we continue on. Should the Falcons trade for a wide receiver? Type T for trade, type P for pass. If you are watching during our live show, get down in the live chat right now. And if you're watching on our regularly scheduled programming, get down in the comment section right now. T for trade or P for pass. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about some other trade candidates, this time coming from ESPN. Before we do that, got to tell you about our friends over at Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. You don't want to miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. Did you know that you can now follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in just one click? Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner like producer Alper, or just someone whose picks you like. Hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the brand new feed tab only on Prize Picks. How do you play? Very easy. All you got to do is pick your player, their stat projections on the more or the less, and then watch your money multiply up to 2,000 times your money this football season and basketball season on Prize Picks. Here's what you do. Download the app. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Shockingly enough, ESPN doesn't think the Falcons need a wide receiver or a nose tackle at all. In fact, they think the Falcons need another corner. But I'm going to tell you why these two corners that I'm going to bring up, one makes perfect sense, the other one not so much. Here are the corners. Michael Carter, cornerback for the Jets, and Reek Woolen, cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I know there's been a lot of Falcons fans that are like, oh, corner depth, we need corner depth. But are you really saying that right now after we just released Ray McCloud? I digress. Let's talk about the corners. Not doing my job if I don't talk about the corners. So let's start with Michael Carter. A player that has proven that he is actually a pretty decent starting corner. The problem is he doesn't play outside corner. He plays nickel. What do the Falcons have? Billy Bowman Jr., nickel. They don't need Michael Carter. But here's what ESPN said anyway. Among all of the Jets players implicated in trade rumors, Carter might have the best chance of actually getting dealt. My understanding is, this is coming from Jeremy Fowler, that there is interest in the slot corner, but not from the Falcons. They don't need one. Now, why was Michael Carter listed as a Falcons candidate? Well, they said the best fits. ESPN goes on in this article to say, here are your best fits. Boom, 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 boom. Falcons were one of the 3 teams listed for Michael Carter. Them, the Cowboys, and I think it was the Bears as well. But I look at this and I go, we've got Billy Bowman Jr. Billy Bowman Jr. has been very, very good. Now, granted, he's been injured the last couple of games, so he hasn't been playing. But why would you need another nickel corner? It doesn't make any sense. In fact, the only one that does make sense for a corner position would be Riq Woolen. But Riq Woolen is, not going to lie, probably playing one of his worst seasons of football yet. And when he started in the NFL, he was a freaking dog. Let's go back to 2022. 16 PBUs, 6 picks. That's insane. Hell, even in 2023, he was still really good. 11 PBUs, 2 interceptions. 2024, he was still really, really good. And then, I don't know what happened. It's kind of like fell off. Now, maybe you could look at that and say, well, maybe there's a lot of trade rumors going on, so maybe it's, his heart's not in Seattle anymore. And maybe you're right. But here's what ESPN had to say. Multiple league execs have Woolen earmarked as a strong trade candidate leading into the deadline. They've been wanting to move him for a while. That should indicate to you that there's probably gotten back to him at some point, one executive said. He doesn't fit what Mike McDonald wants to do. Woolen would be best served going for a team that can utilize his man coverage traits. Here's what ESPN listed as the best fits for Riq Woolen. The Detroit Lions, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I really hope this doesn't happen. But again, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think this is the right move right now. I don't. Am I the only one that looks at this and says, the Falcons need a wide receiver or a nose tackle? The secondary has been very good. Why would we want to get a player like Riq Woolen? And as a player, I wouldn't mind him coming to Atlanta. Honestly, if you would put him on the opposite side of A.J. Terrell, I'd be okay with it. If this is the move that happens, so be it. But again, I don't think it's the right move to make. Go get a wide receiver. You don't need another corner right now. That's something you can attack in the draft. A Mike Hughes replacement if need be, although I thought he's been playing better the last couple of weeks. It's not something you need at this moment. And if it is a depth piece, why would you trade for a corner depth? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't. So if you had to pick a corner, pick one. It'd be Riq Woolen, but I still, again, this is like asking me to pick between something I don't want at all and another thing I don't want. So let me know in the comment section down below. That's going to do it for us on today's episode of Falcons Today. A reminder to hit that subscribe button. Rise up, Dirty Birds fans, and as always, be cool.
Riq played pretty well in their last game.
I don't think he's that bad of a player. He's having a bad year, but he's a good corner. The problem is again, we don't need that.
You need a wide receiver.
Or a nose tackle. I've listed Shelby Harris as a...
You could go get the other Titans nose tackle.
Who?
T'Vondre Sweat.
Is he up for grabs? Well, everybody's up for grabs in Tennessee.
Bingo.
I would go T'Vondre Sweat.
I can read off.
Thanks, Lee. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much.
T'Vondre Sweat in hold on there, brother.
A whale. Get a whale.
In 2 games this season, he's got 8 tackles and 1 sack.
That's not good.
He's been hurt.
Oh, well, there you go.
2 games.
Havana, ooh, na, na.
You got to remember, like, nose tackles.
My heart is in Havana, ooh, na, na.
Nose tackles don't get a lot of
Let me say this.
you know.
Yes, I know. It's kind of a forgotten position now in the NFL because everything is so spread out. But here's what I will say. If the Falcons did end up trading for Reek Woolen, that would be the best secondary in the NFL, period. Everything. Jesse Bates, Xavier Watts, A.J. Terrell, Reek Woolen, that would go absolutely insane.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain. Groovy Tone said we're soft up the middle like some Krispy Kreme donuts. Yep, absolutely. Shelby Harris, make a call. He's old, but he's a rental. And here's the thing. He doesn't ever try. He's never been a player that tries to get after the quarterback. He's literally just a mammoth of a human being.
We're just going to tackle.
Jalen Carter would feed my family for days.
They ain't trading him.
I know. Vita Vea. Yeah, right. They're not going to do any deals with you. You can basically assume that the Saints and the Buccaneers will never, ever make a deal with you. Ever my heart is in Havana, ooh, na, na. Myles Garrett. You want to take on that contract? You want to pay $40 million to an edge rusher? I don't. All right. Our last one, our last seg that we're doing today is all about 2 trade candidates for the Falcons. So not players that you would trade for, but players you would trade away. One of them you know very, very well. I'm not going to lie to you. It's Kirk Cousins. No. They continue to list him as a trade candidate. I don't know why. But the other one seemingly kind of surprised me a little bit. Arnold Ebikete was listed as the other trade candidate. So we're going to talk a little bit about why they had to say Arnold Ebikete was your other trade candidate and what this could mean if the Dirty Birds decide to attach him to a trade package. Let's do it. All right, let's talk trades, but not players that the Atlanta Falcons could trade for, 2 players that they could trade away. Welcome in, Falcons fans, to Falcons Today by Chat Sports. My name is Moose. On today's episode, I'm going to tell you about ESPN's most recent article from our guy, Jeremy Fowler, who basically ranked all top 25 trade candidates heading into the NFL trade deadline. Now, what do we know about the NFL trade deadline? Well, we do know this. It's coming up on November 4th, which is less than 2 weeks away at the time of this recording. They gave a likelihood percentage to be traded. So 100% means it's going to happen. 0% means it will never happen. And then they also gave the best fits for each players on this list. And on the list of the top 25 players, they list 2 Falcons players. Kirk Cousins coming in at, I believe, number 21. And Arnold Ebikete coming in at number 17. Now, before we break down anything surrounding what this could mean for the Atlanta Falcons and why moving these players could or could not happen, if you need more Falcons content in your life, Moose has got you covered, my friends. All you got to do is hit that little bell icon. Select the all option, never ever miss a time that we post. I'm going to hold you to it. Hit that bell icon, please. All right, let's talk Kirky. Kirk O'Chains, Cole's Cash Kirk. Give me some of that Cole's Cash. Look, we're going to talk about it again, but to be completely honest with you, I'm so tired of the Kirk Cousins trade rumors. It's been something we've talked way too much about. But Jeremy Fowler, of course, had to list him because he is a $27.5 million backup quarterback. He is a quarterback that could end up starting. Here's what he said. Like with Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins would need injuries at the quarterback position to spark a market. He's 37. He struggled with interceptions last season, failed to mention the injury. But with Cousins, he could help a team in a bind. Wilson has more of a team-friendly deal than that of Cousins, whose $10 million guarantee in 2026 is definitely a hurdle. Carson Wentz's Week 7 struggles with the Vikings make Cousins a reunion in Minneapolis a convenient talking point for fans and media, even with J.J. McCarthy soon returning from an ankle injury. First of all, let's just say this. Can we stop? We can't still be talking about Kirk Cousins trades, can we? Like, it's not going to happen. Period. It won't. And ESPN also seems to think so. They gave Kirk a 20% chance to get moved at the deadline. And look, the only team that would be even remotely interested right now is the Minnesota Vikings. Carson Wentz is booty cheeks. J.J. McCarthy looks like he's a bust. There are so many issues that Kevin O'Connell, who everybody is claiming is this offensive mastermind, this guru, this quarterback whisperer, is clearly fiending for a quarterback. JJ ain't it. They got rid of Sam Darnold. That was a stupid decision. A dumb decision, if you ask me. So Kirk Cousins would be the only logical option for one team, the Minnesota Vikings. But with his $27.5 million cap hit in 2025, it's not going to happen. Nobody wants to take that on. That's insane. Now, instead of asking you if Kirk Cousins is going to get traded, because we all know the answer, how many Falcons players will get traded before the deadline? You let me know. If I had to say, I'm going to say one. I think one player gets traded away. Maybe there's a couple of trades that we get, but I think one player gets traded away. And believe it or not, it could be the player that we talk about coming up here in just a little bit, because up next, Arnold Ebiketie trade rumors. Where did these come from? What do you need to know about it? And what is the likelihood that Ebiketie gets moved? Before we do that, got to tell you about our friends over at Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. You want to pick more on Bijan Robinson's rushing yards, receiving yards, and touchdowns? You can now do that in the exact same lineup, only on Prize Picks. You can also follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app in the brand new Feed tab and copy their lineups in just one click, whether it's a celebrity partner like producer Alper or just someone whose picks you love. Just hit that follow button. Make your lineup in as little as 30 seconds. Pick the player, the stat projection, the more the less. Watch your money multiply. It is that easy. So go to your app store right now. Do go Moosey a favor and download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Mr. Ebikete, where are you? I didn't even realize this was going to be a thing. It's kind of popped out of nowhere for me. But believe it or not, Jeremy Fowler is claiming that this has been going on for quite some time. So here's what he had to say specifically about an Arnold Ebiketie trade. Ebiketie has had trade interest dating back to the offseason. The 2022 second-round pick is on an expiring contract, and rookies James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker are a big part of Atlanta's future at edge rusher. The Falcons don't necessarily want to trade Ebiketie, but typically at least listen to offers when presented. Now, before I get into my thoughts about that, here is what ESPN listed as the best fits for Arnold Ebiketie. The Dallas Cowboys, who traded away Micah Parsons and can use all of the help that they can get on defense, and the Chicago Bears, who are also needing an edge rusher. We also know that Grady Jarrett is over there in Chicago as well, so Ebiketie could join his former teammate. Still, though, ESPN only gives this a 25% likelihood of an Ebiketie trade. So higher than a Kirk Cousins trade, which is, kind of expected at this point, but it still is like a 1 in 4 chance. I don't think the Falcons want to make this deal. What I do think they want is somebody to call them up and offer them a fortune for Arnold Ebiketie. Maybe like a 3rd-round pick, but you're not going to get that. His production just hasn't been good enough. It hasn't. And with the emergence of guys like Jalen Walker and with the additions of Caden Ellis and James Pierce Jr. and all of these different pass rushers. David Onyemata is playing well this year. Zach Harrison is playing outstanding this year. Arnold Ebikete's just been okay. But like I said, I don't see this move being made either. If the Falcons are going to make a trade, they're going to give away some draft capital to get a player that they need. Now, could you attach Arnold Ebikete to that specific package? Sure. But who would you trade with? What's the team that you would give up Arnold Ebikete to go get? Well, I don't think it would be the Tennessee Titans, but if you were to go out and get a player from the Tennessee Titans, it would have to be Calvin Ridley, specifically in a trade. I know Tyler Lockett is available. You could sign him. But Blog and Dirty, my favorite Atlanta Falcons blog, they were stirring the pot a little bit. A little pot stir. It only feels fitting to end this list with an old friend. And as many of you have already known, Ridley was an all-pro in Atlanta after spending the first 4 seasons of his career with the Falcons. Fans expected him to be the long-term wide receiver 1 after my sweet, glorious Prince King, you name it, Julio Jones, miss you, King, was traded, which crashed and burned for several reasons. Ridley is making only $23 million per year, which doesn't seem too bad, only $23 million a year, especially since the Titans would take on some of that salary, and he'd also be cheaper to acquire. Look, I'm not going to lie. Would this fix a problem? Hell yeah, it would. Having Calvin Ridley back, if you're a Falcons fan and you don't like Calvin Ridley, that's fine. I don't blame you for that. Here's what I do know. Take the emotion out of it. Does Calvin Ridley solve your problem? Hell yeah. Of course he does. Drake London, Calvin Ridley? Come on. You and I know it feels familiar. It's like that nice bowl of soup that your mom makes for you when you travel back home to see her, isn't it? It just feels like home. And again, the statistics, they're not going to jump out at you. But the Titans blow. So that could be a major factor. And I do think that there's that extra juice that if you traded for Calvin Ridley, when he comes back, there is going to be that 2 to 3 game swing where he's just amped up and he's ready to go. It's a full circle moment. It feels good to have him back, and you could squeak out a win over the New England Patriots. You could beat the likes of the Indianapolis Colts in this time span. There's some really good teams that you're going to be going up against here pretty soon. I'm not even mentioning the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints in division. Plus, you still have to end your season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. Arizona Cardinals are in there somewhere too. You could beat them as well. There's a lot of wins still on the table, but you're not going to beat anybody if you don't have the weapons to give to Michael Penix Jr. And I think we all agree that Michael Penix Jr., while we still are like on the fence and the jury's still out about what his long-term future looks like in Atlanta, the best way to find out is to stack the weapons for him and figure it out. So give me Calvin Ridley in a trade. I'll take it. That's going to do it for us on today's episode. A reminder to hit that subscribe button. Rise up, Dirty Birds fans. Like the video. And as always, be cool.
Dope.
Is Jartavius Nathan, are you a Saints fan? I'm going to go out on
him.
Hey, let me know how that 1-6 record is, bro. Oh, and the Saints come marching in. They're gonna lose another game because they stink. And Spencer Rattler's booty cheeks.
He sucks.
Oh, when the Saints come marching in.
Jartavius, no one.
So on the real, though, can Penix just not throw midfield? I don't know. Didn't the Panthers beat y'all, blow y'all out? Didn't the Seahawks absolutely dick you down?
Hey, yo.
What was that score? Was it 45-6?
Hey, yo.
Oh, no, sorry. I'm just matching the energy. Rattler got better stats than Penix. Who's got the better record, bro? How does it feel being in the bottom of the barrel of the NFC South? I can go back and forth with you all day.
Sharktavius Nathan. Hey, man, Spencer Rattler's better. You're going to be... Your season's
You're going to be
over.
drafted number 1 in the league, bruh.
And no, they're the Jets and the Titans.
I bet the Jets squeak a win out. Did the Niners put belt to ass
Brother,
to
you
y'all?
can't be talking with a 1-6 record.
I honestly don't get it.
You
A
can't
1
be
and 6.
talking.
You're 1-6.
Hey, man, this other team beat you.
You just lost your former head coach, too. Dennis Allen absolutely clapped your cheeks, bro.
It's like, hey, man, another team beat you. Not my team, because my team sucks, but another team
Didn't you guys just lose? Yeah, we also beat the Buffalo Bills. What did you guys do to the Bills? Loss. In fact, the only team that you beat was
the Giants.
Who just pulled off the literal worst loss of their entire franchise.
Yeah.
They gave up 33 points in one quarter. That's just goofy, bro. If the Saints were 6-1, you could talk all the shit you want.
Yeah,
and I would never say anything.
If the Saints were 3-3.
You're 1-6.
Reginald.
All right, we'll do 2 more minutes of Saints shit talking, and then we'll get on out of here. Y'all love us. Okay. Marlon said, "Ooh." Like, bro, you cannot talk shit at 1-6. You can't. That motherfucker.
How about you put on the bag?
All right.
The paper bag.
Trace is here. He must have heard.
He had to hear. You're 1-6.
That wasn't me. I didn't say it. That wasn't me. I didn't say it. It was not me. It was my vice producer over there, Brett Helper.
Got an old man Kamara and a terrible quarterback.
Is Julio Jones in the chat? What's up, Julio?
Who that gonna beat them Saints? Everybody!
Everybody! Except the Giants. Y'all seem mad. No, bro. We're just enjoying our more than one win. How does it feel to have a quarterback whose last name rhymes with fuck? Shit, we have one that rhymes with penis. Y'all seem sad.
Rattlers 1-12 starting.
Win over the Giants, by the way. Ass cheeks. This is fun. I like the friendly rivalry. I mean, it is going to be belt to ass when we meet them, so it's not even going to be close. We're going to kick their ass. Yes. Y'all love our players. All right. Last minute to get your super chats in. If you want to get your Saints hate in, you can get a super chat in. We'll put it on screen for you. We're still 500 with the big Penix. The big Penix. Chris Olave, chill. Ain't the Saints Pelicans are cooked. Oh, God. It's fun. It's all in good fun. I love Trace. Trace is a good guy.
The Pelicans have Ozempic Zion.
We made y'all fire y'all coach. Stop playing.
The Hawks actually might be really good.
Made cry like a bitch.
The Hawks might be pretty solid this year.
I'm not a huge fan of Trae Young. I've been on team trade Trae, but
they have Kristaps Porzingis.
Would you guys want me to do some Hawks watch parties? Would that be something you guys would be interested in? Maybe like on a random Saturday, I come in and do a little The Bright Wolf. Yes. I think I could do it. I could do it. Jump in on a little Atlanta Hawks watch party.
I am Greg.
I don't give a fuck about basketball. Either. All right, let's get on out of here. We got 146 people watching, but it looks like all the Saints fans have left. So we're going to get on out of here, and thank you guys so much for joining us. Hopefully that was a fun little Wednesday show for you. Ooh, excuse me. I'm trying to get all that lunch broken down here. Rise up and be cool.